Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of r// Tales from Tech Support. In today's episode, user self-sabotages webinar recording. Wetware blockchain for screen testing a printer. Ticket, networking scientist's network isn't working. I'm new to networking. There is a reason people start by asking if it's plugged in. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. User self-sabotages webinar recording. My job is to provide tech support for classroom technology and video conferencing at a major university. Zoom's most commonly used by my school for online conferences. We have our users' Zoom cloud recordings auto-upload to Kaltura. Kaltura is an education-focused video platform, like a closed-off YouTube for your own school. This user had just hosted a webinar and called into our helpline. User: hello, I've just hosted a webinar all day, and I am unable to find the recording. I am positive I made one. Me: hello, I can definitely check that for you. One moment. User: great. I really need this recording. It's super important. I can see on the Zoom admin dashboard the meeting was recorded. I also have Kaltura admin privileges, so I log into there. I do not see the recording in the account. No worries, might have been recorded to the local machine, star. Me: alright, I agree that you hit the record button in that meeting. Do you recall whether you made a cloud or local recording? User: I don't remember. I know I set it to auto-record so I wouldn't have to actually start the recording myself. Asterisk: great. This is actually good news. If they scheduled the webinar to auto-record, I can see in the meeting settings whether it was set to record to the cloud or the local device, star. Me: that's fine. I can find out which one it is by looking at the meeting details. Once we know that, we'll be one step closer to finding the location. Completely unsolicited, the user divulges this bit of information. User: I really hope you find this. My job might be on the line here. This conference had a very notable keynote speaker. Part of their payment includes a copy of this recording. She told me who the guest was. They're a B-tier celeb, they've made their rounds in the mainstream news. I imagine they were not cheap to book for an event, even an online one. I'm now slightly worried this user might have finagled the recording, but I want to remain optimistic, star. Me: I can see it was recorded, you remember setting it to auto-record, it's likely just on the machine you hosted from. We'll confirm that in just a moment. Asterisk: I pull up the meeting details for the webinar she hosted. It is set to record to the cloud, not the local machine. Something is definitely wrong here, star. Me: the webinar was set to record to the cloud. We know the recording isn't on Kaltura. Did you also check your recording stored on Zoom's site? User: yes. I do see an entry that is the same name as the webinar, but there is no video, just audio only. When she said that, I knew that recording was not going to be found. Asterisk: in Zoom's support admin role, I can't see the recording stored on their account, but I can see their recording settings. I open up her recording settings, and I find the source of the problem, star. Asterisk: under the cloud recording settings, the user can select how they want the recording layout to look: record gallery view with screen share, record active speaker with screen share, record these separate. This user had gone into her own settings and unchecked all the boxes. Since no layout was chosen for cloud recordings, when the recording started, no video was actually captured, star. She did have the option to record a separate audio file still checked, so that was all she had from that day-long event. Me: did you unselect the recording layout options in your cloud recording settings? User: 3 seconds of silence, yes. Me: I am sorry, but unfortunately, there is no video recording we can recover. All you have it set up to record is audio only. User: is there any possible way we can recover the video? Me: I'm sorry, but due to the settings that were changed, the video was never captured. We can't got back and get that. I really wish I could help, but this is all you have. Asterisk user was pretty defeated. That was pretty much the end of the call, star. Wetware blockchain for screen testing a printer. 2 weeks ago, we had an external technician, ET, in our office to start to redo all of our patch panels. Last Friday, we got the last missing printer from the printer swap started last year. It didn't want to work. Yesterday, I hears my team lead's boss, TB, talking to another colleague just outside my office, asking him if there is any way to wire a network port so it only not supports printer. I am in no way anything it related in this company except user, but this was my cue. I opened my office door and explained wiring of an Ethernet port as simple as I could. Further, I made an educated guess why the new printer wouldn't get connected to the authentication and print server. At the time I was talking about VLANs, TB was looking at me as if I was talking Mandarin. I suggested that he needed to contact our corporate help desk that they adjust the VLANs on the ports of the switch. He didn't contact the corporate help desk because ET and his assistant EA were in the building to finish the last patch panels. After some blind guessing, we somehow figured out that one port in the office across the hallway seemed to have the right VLAN assigned. Now we just needed to redo that one patch. Easy, right? Well, the port wasn't labeled. After some discussion, someone suggested to pull plugs out of the patch panel one after another, until the link light on the printer goes dark. We all agreed to it, and I was about to go upstairs to look at the printer, as TB meant 9 that he has no signal on his cell phone. Patch panel is in the basement of this quite old building with walls and ceilings full of steel. The printer was 2 stories above. In the end, ET was at the panel. EA was in the stairwell at the bottom. TB was in the stairwell on my level, and I was sitting next to the printer. ET would yell now? EA would yell now? TB would yell now? I would yell still lit. TB would yell still lit. EA would yell still lit. ET would plug the plug back into the panel, would pull the next plug and would yell now? After 20-something tries we found the right port and were able to bring the printer online. Ticket: Networking Scientist's network isn't working. I'm new to networking. At Hugest Software Corporation, one of my very first issues came in as a networking problem. I always, pro tip, look up who I'm about to meet to see who they are. This researcher was a networking security scientist. Their network wasn't working, and they couldn't figure out why. Having had set up a few consumer-grade switches and hubs, I had a rudimentary knowledge of basic networking. You know, make sure all the wires are attached at each end, the little springy clips have to be engaged, LEDs light up when things are working, that sort of stuff. So, when I get assigned this ticket, I'm thinking, this is going to be embarrassing. What the hell am I going to be able to do for a networking FN scientist? I go to their office sweating, and thank God, they weren't there. I see wires running all around the edge of the office, all kinds of networking gear pulled out, ports lit up, but not flashing, and one 5-port hub had none of the ports lit up at all. Huh. Looking a bit closer, I see the hub has a power cord pulled out from the back by several inches. Probably troubleshooting and removed power for some reason. I plug it back in. Everything lights up. I verify that there's connectivity to the corporate network and my work is done? Right, can't be this easy. She walks in, looks around, and hesitantly asked, "You fixed the problem?" Well, looking around, I saw that the hub was unpowered and the cord was pulled out from the back. Plugging it back in did the trick. I was really concerned that it was going to be something too difficult to troubleshoot. I smiled bigly. She replied, "Well, I can't believe that I didn't." Well, thanks. I kid you not, later that week, I catch her eye coming across a large cafeteria, and she sheepishly ducked her head down and looked away. I learned something very valuable from that experience. There is a reason people start by asking if it's plugged in. My mentor always said to start with the obvious first, because about 20 common things will make up 50% of all the calls. I just got my coffee and sat down when the phone rang in with a call from the queue. The call handler sounded confused and asked confirmation of the default software password. User manager, password manager, it hasn't changed. It wouldn't change for the 20 years we sold the product. Well, I have a customer who just installed the product who can't log in. I grabbed the case thinking easy kill, I bet he has caps lock on. 10 cases a day was considered a solid day's work, and I had gotten one already, and it wasn't even 9 a.m. yet. So as soon as I had verified his details, I asked him to verify that caps lock wasn't on. He said, "I'm not dumb, I checked that first." So we went through the routine and nothing worked. The database was there, the install sounded clean. What should have worked just didn't. As an hour dragged to 2, I finally asked him to uninstall and reinstall, which took a half an hour. Still nothing. We tried pasting the account and password, and spell check didn't bark. I did a quick check by installing the same version. It worked fine. So we did an install on a new PC at their site at hour 3. Same issue. Finally I heard him say, "Are there 2 ways in Manager?" "I'm in." "Thanks." I stared at my phone in mute shock. He had misspelled the same word the same way for 3 hours. I went back to the queue because I was behind, muttering 2 ways in Manager. It became an internal meme for our group for stupid errors.